If you feel disappointed with your life, if you ever wonder why things don't turn out the way you hoped, you might not be looking in the right direction. Because here is a truth most people avoid. Life does not punish you loudly. It reflects you, quietly, patiently, and with perfect accuracy. Every small choice you make, every shortcut, every moment you think this doesn't matter, is being recorded somewhere you cannot see. And one day, without warning, it comes back. Not as coincidence, not as bad luck, but as something you once created yourself. This might sound uncomfortable, but it is something you need to hear. Because many people reach the later years of their life confused. They look at their health, their relationships, their peace of mind, and ask, why is this happening to me? But the deeper question is, what have I been giving to? Life all along this story might change everything, not because it is dramatic, but because it reveals a law so simple and so precise that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. A life lesson you will never forget. And as you listen, you won't just follow a story. You will also naturally absorb new English vocabulary and sentence patterns, phrases that are simple, powerful, and used in real life. So listen carefully, not just to understand the story, but to feel the meaning behind every word. Because there is also a warning hidden inside this tale, a quiet one, but a serious one. The kind of warning that could save you years of regret if you understand it early enough. Today's story comes from a small village, where a simple exchange between two men revealed something most people spend their entire lives ignoring. At first, it looks like a story about dishonesty, but look deeper, and you will realize it is actually a story about how life measures you not by what you say, but by what you repeatedly do. And once that measurement begins, it never stops. One day, in a quiet village surrounded by dusty roads and golden fields, there lived a shopkeeper whose life seemed perfectly ordinary from the outside. Every day before the sun fully rose, he would open his wooden doors, arrange his jars of spices, stack his grains neatly, and prepare for another day of business. People trusted him. Children were sent to his shop without hesitation. Mothers believed they would always receive fair measure, and for years nothing seemed out of place. Every day, a farmer from the edge of the village would arrive on his old bicycle. His clothes were simple, his hands rough from labor, but his routine never changed. He carried with him a clay pot wrapped in cloth protecting what was inside from the heat. Inside that pot was fresh butter made early in the morning by his wife. In exchange, the shopkeeper would give him wheat measured, weighed, and handed over without a second thought. This exchange continued quietly, day after day, year after year. No arguments, no questions, no doubt. It was a system built on habit and what seemed like trust. But here is something most people don't realize. Not all routines are built on truth. Some are built on assumptions and hidden actions no one bothers to check. Every day the shopkeeper smiled. Every day the farmer nodded. And every day something small, almost invisible, was happening beneath the surface. Something that neither man spoke about. Something that slowly shaped their reality. One hot afternoon when the air felt heavier than usual and the village seemed unusually quiet, a single thought crossed the shopkeeper's mind. A thought that had likely been there for a long time, but had never fully formed until that moment. What if I am the one being cheated? That question changed everything, because sometimes it only takes one moment of suspicion to reveal years of hidden truth. And what happened next was not just a simple misunderstanding, it was the beginning of a revelation, one that would expose not only the actions of one man, but the invisible law that had been quietly governing both their lives all along. Every day, the shopkeeper Govind stood at the center of the village like a man of importance. His voice was calm, his smile polite, his movements precise. To everyone around him, he appeared disciplined, reliable, even respectable. But beneath that calm surface, Govind carried a quiet habit, one so small that no one ever noticed, yet repeated so often that it became part of who he was. He believed in being clever, not wise, but clever. Govind had a way of adjusting the scale ever so slightly, just a few grams less each time. Nothing obvious, nothing that would raise suspicion. To him it was harmless. After all, who would notice such a small difference? And even if they did, who would question him? Over time, this small act became routine. Not once, not twice, but every single day. And the dangerous thing about repeated actions is this: they stop feeling wrong. Meanwhile, the farmer Ramu lived a very different life. He did not calculate. He did not question. He simply worked. His mornings began before sunrise, his hands moving with quiet dedication as he and his wife prepared butter from the milk of their buffaloes. Ramu owned no proper weighing scale, no polished tools, no precise instruments. So he relied on something simple, something he believed was fair. Every day he took the wheat he received from Govind, placed it on one side of his balance, and matched it with butter on the other side. Nothing more, nothing less. To him, this was honesty. To him, this was enough. And so, without realizing it, the two men were connected by an invisible thread. One was giving less, and the other was unknowingly returning exactly the same. Day after day, month after month, year after year, their actions mirrored each other perfectly. But then something strange happened. On that hot afternoon, as Govind sat alone in his shop, that small voice of suspicion grew louder than ever before. What if I am the one being cheated? The thought disturbed him. It didn't come from evidence. It didn't come from proof. It came from his own way of thinking. Because a dishonest mind often expects dishonesty in others. Without saying a word, Govind decided to test it. When Ramu delivered the butter that day and quietly left as usual, Govind locked his shop door. He placed the butter carefully on his weighing scale. For the first time in years, he checked. The needle moved. It stopped. And what he saw made his face tighten with anger. 900 grams. Not 1 kilogram. In that moment, everything inside him exploded. "Thief," he whispered, then louder. "Thief." His heart pounded not with doubt, but with certainty. In his mind, the story was already clear. For 5 years, he had been cheated. Or at least, that is what he believed. And once a person convinces himself of a story, he stops looking for the truth. What happened next would not just expose a misunderstanding. It would reveal something far deeper, something uncomfortable, something most people are not ready to face. Because sometimes the problem is not what others have done to us, but what we have been doing all along. If you see a part of your own life in this moment, in the assumptions, in the silent habits, in the things you thought didn't matter, comment one below. Because what is about to happen next might make you question everything you thought was fair. The silence that followed was not just in the village square. It settled inside the shopkeeper's heart. For the first time in many years, he had nothing to say. No clever words, no quick explanations, no smile to hide behind. Only the truth standing before him. The same truth he had avoided in small ways, every single day. The council's decision was clear, and there was no argument left to make. He was ordered to repay the farmer for all the years of loss. Every grain he had taken unfairly returned in full. But deep down he knew this punishment was not the hardest part, because money can be repaid. Reputation cannot. In the days that followed, the village changed the way it looked at him. The same people who once greeted him with warmth now looked at him with quiet distance. The same children who once ran to his shop were now sent elsewhere. No one shouted. No one insulted him. But sometimes, silence is the heaviest judgment of all. At night, when the village fell asleep, the shopkeeper remained awake. Not because of noise, but because of memory. He began to see it clearly now. Every small act, every dishonest measure, every moment he told himself, it doesn't matter. He had believed he was gaining something, but in truth, he had been losing something far more valuable, piece by piece, day by day. His integrity, his peace, his place in the world. And now there was no way to take it back. But then, something even deeper began to unfold inside him. For the first time, he stopped blaming others. He stopped thinking about the farmer. He stopped thinking about being caught. Instead, he started seeing the pattern, the quiet law that had been working all along, not to punish him, but to reflect him. What he gave, he received. What he measured him back. And that realization was heavier than any punishment. Within a month, he made his decision. He packed his belongings, closed the wooden doors of his shop, and left the village he had known his entire life. No farewell, no explanation, just a man walking away with the weight of his own actions. But this is where most people misunderstand stories like this. They think the ending is about loss. But look closer. The shopkeeper did not just lose his business. He was forced to face himself. And sometimes, that is the beginning of change. As for the farmer, his life continued just as it always had. Every morning his wife still made butter before sunrise. Every day he still rode his bicycle across the same dusty road. Nothing about his routine had changed. And yet, everything had been proven. His honesty did not make him rich. It did not give him power. But it gave him something far more rare. Peace. The kind of peace that does not depend on what others do, but on what you choose to be. And the village, they carried this story quietly in their hearts. Not as gossip, not as entertainment, but as a reminder. A reminder that life is not watching you in obvious ways. It does not always react immediately, but it never forgets. And sooner or later, in ways you cannot predict, it returns to you exactly what you have been giving all along. This story teaches us a powerful truth, one that many people only understand when it is already too late. The shopkeeper was not punished by the village. He was not destroyed by the farmer. He was not even defeated by bad luck. He was simply revealed. And that is the deeper meaning of this story. Because the shopkeeper is not just a man in a village. He is a reflection of a part of all of us. The scale he used is your daily actions. The wheat is what you give to the world. And the butter that returned to him is what life gives back to you. Life is exactly like this, quiet, patient, precise. It does not shout when you make a mistake. It does not stop you when you take shortcuts. But it remembers every small habit, every hidden intention, every time you choose what is easy over what is right. And one day, without warning, it reflects everything back to you, not to punish you, but to show you who you have become. If we look at our own lives, we often believe that the small things don't matter. One lie won't hurt. One shortcut is fine. One unhealthy habit won't change anything. But just like the shopkeeper, those small things are repeated again and again and again until they become your reality. Your health, your relationships, your peace of mind. Everything you experience is being shaped by what you consistently do. Remember this, you are always being measured by your own measure. The way you treat your body will become your future health. The way you treat others will become your future relationships. The way you live today will become the life you face tomorrow. This story is not about fear. It is about awareness, because the moment you understand this, you gain something powerful, the ability to change. Right now, not later, right now. You don't need to wait for a big moment. You don't need a perfect plan. You only need to change the small things. Be a little more honest, a little more mindful, a little more intentional, because those small changes will one day return to you, just like everything else. So now I want to ask you something honestly. Have you ever experienced a moment in your life where what you gave came back to you? A moment where life reflected your own actions perfectly? If you believe in this truth, type true in the comments. Let that word be your reminder that from today forward, you choose to live differently. And if this story made you pause, even for a moment, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, a simple story can change the direction of someone's life. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next story that might open your eyes in a way you never expected. Until then, remember this life is always watching, not to judge you, but to return to you exactly what you choose to give.